What's up, boys and gals? Welcome back to our channel. Maverick here with another episode of Pet. The second to last episode, actually, as this series is just about to be concluded. So, where we left off last episode, Hiroki, his hiding place was found out by Satoru and Tsukasa, right? And now they are about to deliver him a smackdown, or rather, Satoru is trying to deliver to Hiroki a smackdown, whereas Tsukasa is trying to do the same thing to Satoru, right? Now, obviously, I don't think that's going to succeed, otherwise nobody will be able to stop Tsukasa anymore. I highly doubt that he's going to be able to crush Satoru. And the crucial part of this is probably going to be Mei Ling, right? Mei Ling has received some parting words from Hayashi, which will probably clue into Satoru on what the truth actually is. Possibly, it's also going to involve the clue that Hayashi left behind in around like 5-6 episodes ago, which I believe is a USB stick, although how exactly Satoru is going to find that remains to be seen, right? In any case, let's get into the episode right now, and we'll talk more about that later. Alright, I skipped the opening as usual. Let's begin in 3, 2, 1, play. Aha! Carrier pigeon. Hmm? Needs to hide? Oh, because they're in his memories. So, this isn't the real world. He can't actually go against him. Ooh. Huh. What does that do? Okay. It's like a suicidal attack of some sort. Oh. No, you can't. Hmm. Long is gonna be like, what are you doing, Tsukasa? Are you guys? Well, I was gonna say, are you guys a bunch of teenagers? But I guess in a certain sense, they are a bunch of teenagers, right? Doraemon? Jin is gonna be the one that actually. Huh? Hmm. Wait, why would Katsuragi suddenly? Oh, that's it. Mm. I do wonder, like, how come Katsuragi suddenly cared for him and was wanting to eat with him? That seems so out of character. Oh. Oh, so he's got the USB? Yeah. The perfect carrier pigeon. Wouldn't he actually be monitored though? Huh. I think he's incredibly reckless to use this right in the hotel. Is he actually going to explain anything to him? Well, he knows this already. Young Katsuragi. Young Hayashi. Yeah, risk management. But why is Katsuragi helping the company anyways? Because of him? But they were revolting. Young innocent Tsukasa. Hmm. ？What? Hmm. So even though she doesn't have a lock, normally she would still be fine? Huh. Hide his memories? Wow. So Katsuragi is actually really key to all this. Still though, as I was saying, he is... I'm getting nervous for him standing here in the lobby using the computer. He wasn't discovered. Tsukasa's gonna talk with Hiroki. Oh. Hmm. Now he's trying to suss him out. So Satoru is actually still thinking. Huh. Okay. Wow. This is... And now it's Tsukasa. Ah, his entire logic is going to collapse now. Oh, damn. Huh. It's like... Is he actually going to admit to this? What the hell? Oh man, I was not expecting this kind of this kind of ending. All right. See you guys after this. Alrighty, things got from 0 to 100 rather quickly in this episode, right? I definitely wasn't expecting them to have this sort of confrontation, reach this kind of conclusion, and then have Long in the end show up with a gun and actually shooting someone, right? First things first, I do find it kind of funny that Tsukasa only now finally realizes that he misunderstood Hayashi. But it also kind of bugs me that Hayashi wasn't able to just directly tell Tsukasa when he had the chance, right? Well, during the episodes where they were together, I think in episode 6 or something, you know, Hayashi had all the time to tell Tsukasa what really happened all those years ago, why he was forcibly separated from him. You would think that if that was the case and he really still cared about Tsukasa that much, he would have directly came clean and told him about all this instead of trying to forcefully change his memory, right? It's, I don't know, it's kind of I'm not really sure that makes a lot of sense. Then again, I don't think it really matters even if he did try to convince Tsukasa, because I do think that Tsukasa has to a certain extent been brainwashed by the company, right? He's certainly not exactly thinking straight. That was evidenced by, you know, a few episodes ago when Hiroki simply asked Tsukasa, why don't we just run away together, right? What's stopping us from just running away from all this instead of trying to climb up the ranks and so on and so forth, right? And Tsukasa was speechless at that point, right? He was like, wait, we can just run away? Then why did I crush Hayashi, right? So I really don't think he's thinking clearly right now. In fact, especially through these past few episodes where we can see his inner monologue and whatnot, kind of devious and all evil like and whatnot, I do think that he might have conflicting personalities within him right now. Right, he is definitely not in a good state mentally, and especially with this revelation in this episode, I think he has mentally broken. Right, so there's a part of him that is still like, okay, I gotta do what the company says, I gotta eliminate Satoru, I gotta kill everyone who stands in my way, and yet we also know that he has never, regretted the fact that he killed Hayashi, right? Or I guess not killed, crushed Hayashi, right? Those tears that he shed, those were genuine. And we can see it evidenced by him throwing up when he thinks about Hayashi as well. So, it is kind of, you know, he's like I said, he's in a bad state mentally, and I do think that he is having these conflicting emotions. So that's why I also think that there's a reason that the gunshot, when Long pulled the trigger at the very end of this episode and we see blood flying around, we don't actually see the scene, right? I feel like that's a clue where that ties in with Tsukasa as well. So we know that someone was shot. We can see blood flying out, but who exactly was it? I actually don't think it's Satoru. I think Tsukasa actually leapt up and protected Satoru and blocked him from being shot. And the reason for this is, like I just mentioned before, he's actually lost it. Even though he was the one who turned out Satoru, he might also be the one who's trying to save him because Again, I mentioned this before. There's no way that Tsukasa is coming out of this unscathed, right? He crushed Hayashi. That is that. So the only thing he can do is redeem himself, basically. Either have his memories change and then do something else, some other kind of bidding. Definitely not the Tsukasa that we see now, or he's gonna die. And I don't think he's gonna die a villain either. I do think that it's not going to be that cruel. He's not that far lost that he can't be redeemed. But having a redemption and then death, that seems to be the most suitable ending for him. And so that's why I do think that it might be Tsukasa that took the bullet for Satoru, right? Otherwise, it doesn't really make sense for anyone else to be hit, right? Like, we see that Jin is there, but obviously Jin, I don't think, is going to take a bullet for Satoru, especially when she's in a relationship with Long, right? As much as she might be fond of Satoru, yeah, I don't think so. And Satoru being shot, I don't know. If he was shot, I think the chances of him surviving are actually really, really slim. And I don't see him getting out of the situation in that regards if he was just shot right then and there. So that's why everything considered, I personally feel that it was Tsukasa that took the bullet. Then we shall find out in the next episode. Beyond that, we have another interesting kind of foreshadowing here, right? And that is Katsuragi. So, this dude who, honestly, I only thought of as sort of like a side character, a punching bag character, he ends up playing a very important role in all this, right? He was the carrier pigeon, he was the one who brought the information to Satoru, and now apparently he also holds some information locked up within him that could help in either taking down the company or at least allowing Satoru and others to escape from the company, right? And I don't think it's too hard to sort of deduce what that memory actually is. So we know that his memories were changed so that he has ultimate loyalty to the company, right? Well, the only reason why you would hide his memories and make him this way is because if the opposite is true. So maybe the hidden memories that he has, the situation is actually reversed, and he hates the company with a passion. He wants to take down the company, right? That could also be possible right then and there. So yeah, it's hard to say. It's hard to say, but I do think that with what Hayashi's message from this episode, Katsuragi is going to play a very important role in the next episode in how Satoru and others are going to escape from the company, right? So I am looking forward to that. And wouldn't it just be it would just be beautiful that such a side character, one who we all ridicule for all these episodes, ends up being the one who plays one of the most critical parts in all this, right? So that would be some nice story writing, I feel. And then one last thought I have from this episode is really in regards to Hayashi. I feel like he is still really much a mystery up to now. So even with his message, okay, it's fine. We sort of get what happened in the past, the sort of thought process, what really happened, then why he had to leave Tsukasa, and so on and so forth. That all makes sense. Now, what I'm really interested in, though, is why is he helping the company in the first place, right? So Tsukasa being a hostage, that came after he got Satoru. That didn't come before. But even before that, Hayashi was already working for the company, and helping them out in all these sorts of supernatural matters, right? So why did he suddenly have a change of heart once he actually got Tsukasa under his wing, and so that's when he decided to change everything? Is it something of that story? It's also implied that he regrets crushing the other masters, right? The sort of traitors to all this. But yeah, again, then why was he working with them in the first place, right? So I don't know. I feel like we really need to understand Hayashi a lot more, and he's really not properly explained enough within the anime so far. But since we only have one episode left, I'm not really sure if they are going to touch on this at all or not. No, we shall see. We shall see. And yeah, I guess one last point is it is kind of ironic, and Hayashi mentioned it himself, that all of this is really caused by him taking in Satoru, right? Because it was him taking in Satoru that caused this domino effect of everything happening up to now. Because he took because he took Satoru, Tsukasa had to be taken away, and because of that, Tsukasa got Hiroki, and then Hayashi had to make babies, he had to make Mei-ling, and then fast forward to now, that's got him killed, and then we have Satoru and Tsukasa and Hiroki all trying to fight each other, and then we got Mei-ling still without a lock, and sort of like half in a vegetable state, I guess you could say. So, I guess ultimately whether or not he did the correct thing will be decided by the ending, right? It's hard to say. Obviously, for Satoru and well, they all benefited from this. Don't get me wrong. Like Tsukasa was originally going to be harvested for organs. At least he survived up to now. Satoru was originally a special needs child, let's just say, with no real conscience, and so now he's able to live a relatively normal life, right? Hiroki, also the same, sort of a similar situation as Tsukasa, so definitely he's grateful as well. So I think, you know what, all in all, it's still a net positive, right? Even if they all die right here in the next episode, hey, at least they lived, I guess, tens of years of good life, right? And that is already more than they had if they hadn't met Tsukasa and all the things that came with it, right? So I guess ultimately he still did the right thing and impacted the lives of the others in a positive way. So there we go. That is episode 12 of Pet. I will see you guys next week for the grand finale. Until then, stay tuned and bye bye.